Hello, and welcome back to another fun-filled episode of the Hammercast. I'm your host, Alex, the Hebrew Hammer Salkin, and today I want to talk a little bit about a very inventive drill for fixing up your shoulders. Now, I know I've talked a decent bit lately about fixing up the shoulders, but I think it's an important topic because a lot of people have just kind of messed up shoulders, and it's either from overuse or disuse. And so they think this is a very good drill for helping you to get things working again. And, as your shoulders start to feel better, you're probably going to want to push it to the limits a little bit more, but do so a little bit more safely. And for that, I have to say, I think my 9-minute kettlebell and bodyweight challenge could be a very good companion to the movement we're about to talk about in this podcast. And one of the reasons why is because it involves full body movements that use your body the way that it was designed to be used, which is the gait pattern in particular. So it goes along very well with any other strength training that you're doing. I think you're really going to like it quite a bit. And the nice thing is that you can do it in conjunction with whatever it is you're currently doing. It's only going to complement your training, not complicate your training. So go to 9minutechallenge.com, get yourself your own copy. Now I want to mention something. I remember it was many years ago. I don't remember what product it was, but I think it might not have even been one of Pavel's products, but there was kind of a tongue-in-cheek observation on there. That was at a workshop. Pavel Tsatsouline, the modern king of kettlebells, said something to the effect of, raise your hand if you've ever hurt your shoulder. And if you didn't raise your hand, it's probably because you can't. And, he's talking about just the prevalence of shoulder problems in the Western world. And really, there's almost no physical malady more frustrating or ubiquitous nowadays than the ever common shoulder issue. Shoulders are the most mobile joint in your body. And because of this, they're also the most fragile. That despite their many functions like abduction, adduction, rotation, raising overhead, full circular motion, things like that, the average trainee will rarely, if ever, venture beyond their exercise comfort zone and aim to truly bulletproof them. And while foundational strength exercises like push-ups, presses, rows, pull-ups, and more are all great additions to most any program, pardon me, they not only don't address all of the various angles that the shoulders are capable of moving through, but many, if not most, of us are only putting our shoulders through in the even more risk when we're doing these exercises by ignoring the key element of any upper body exercise. And that is your scapulae or your shoulder blades. These are bones that connect your upper arm with your collarbone. They play an integral part in all upper body movements. In fact, Ido Portal, who's an Israeli movement maestro and movement trainer to former UFC lightweight and featherweight champion Conor McGregor, has said it best when he said, someone who is strong in the muscles surrounding the scapulae is an upper body strong person in any endeavor. Or if he is not yet strong in one specific discipline, he will be able to transform his strength into this new arena after a very short, quote unquote, transformation phase. And this is one of the reasons ex-gymnasts are able to transform their strength into various other fields after retiring, and very quickly. Gymnasts are the kings of scapular control, stability and mobility, and strength in any direction and vector possible. Especially in Russia, you will meet a lot of ex-gymnasts competing in arm wrestling, martial arts, and MMA, powerlifting, Olympic lifting, various athletic disciplines, and more. The reason is that most complex movements in the upper body are originating and being stabilized by the scapulae. Again, that was Ido Portal. So in short, if you feel like you're constantly nursing sore shoulders, backing off from your upper body training, more often than not, you're surging forward or have been stuck running in place in your training, not making any progress in your pull-ups, military presses, push-ups, or other upper body movements, you may want to look at how your scapula are moving. As it's not uncommon for even the most dedicated of trainees to ignore, lock down, or otherwise restrict their scapulae from natural, unencumbered movement. And using Ido's revelatory observation about gymnasts and scapular control, you may want to take a page out of gymnasts' playbooks. And one gymnast in particular to look to is Mark Reifkind, who has been a guest on this show in the past. Now, he's a former gymnast who even went head-to-head in competition with future Olympic gymnast Kurt Thomas. And Riff, as he's known, later went on to become a triathlete, a competitive bodybuilder, power lifter, and he's now a master instructor through Kettlebell King Pavel Tsatsulin and his strength organization, Strong First. And thanks to his many years as a professional coach and a personal trainer, he's got a sizable toolbox of simple and ingenious drills to help restore lost physical function and natural movement. His personal favorite is his gymnastics ring drill, designed to help resurrect resilient shoulders by bringing your scapular function back from the dead and into the forefront of your upper body strength efforts, all while providing a nice stretch to your overworked pecs, biceps, and shoulders, and freeing your neck to move a little bit better to boot. Now, the moves involve this is basically you've got a set of gymnastics rings hooked up, and you are going to kind of lean into them. So you're not going to be standing just perfectly upright. You're going to be kind of leaning into them a little bit. You're going to have your arms straight overhead in a Y position. So imagine you're doing the YMCA dance. Put your hands in that position, kind of open up your chest a little bit while you're in that position. And even just right there, you're going to probably start feeling a bit of a stretch. Now you're going to hold that position. Then you're going to bring your shoulders out to the sides in like a T position. So imagine that the T were a part of the YMCA dance, exactly this. Now, I think the way Riff does it is he likes to bring his arms down again further so they're more like at belt line while the arms are still staying straight. One of the things I like to do, though, is I'll actually bring my elbows down, I'll bend them, and I'll bring them down kind of toward my hips. So I'm making sort of this W position with my body. And then I'll do the same thing. I'll lift my elbows up to around, let's say like shoulder height and like in an L position. So like an L on either side. So if you were looking at it directly on, that's what it would look like. And I'm a really big fan of doing this for static positions. You hold anywhere from 10 to 20 seconds or dynamic practice where you're going back and forth between the different positions. So for instance, you might do like Y to T like 10 times and then W to L 10 times. And whichever way you do it, I think you'll be very happy with the results because in short order, you're probably going to start to notice that your shoulders feel better. Your scapulae leap into action as your trusty henchmen in your diabolical schemes to crush ever-increasing amounts of weakness. You might even notice a big boost in strength after a long and monotonous layoff. I've got some videos out there, I think, of me doing this, so be sure to check on YouTube. You should be able to find that with no real problems. But it's an excellent drill. I've used it many times over the years, both with myself and with my students. And the nice thing is, it not only helps you to stretch out of the muscles that might be kind of keeping your upper body a little stiff, but it also helps teach you how to move your scapulae in conjunction with your arms. It's just an excellent drill for learning how to do that. So highly recommended. Go check that out. And if you know somebody who could stand to maybe have their shoulder blades opened up a little bit more and worked a little bit more correctly, feel free to forward this episode to them. Just nudge them until they finally listen. Because sometimes people don't want to try stuff like this, but they got to do it. So give it a shot yourself, see how it feels, and then goad other people into doing it as well. So thank you for listening. And as always, have fun and happy training.